fucking not cool.
Little something about the cats who be frontin'. You know the tip he be hunting for all the goodness gracious all across the wide spaces. Yo, check it out, bust.
We on. Cool. So this is going to be episode number 7, I think, of the vlog, and there's going to be no real fancy footage in this one. It's just going to be me talking a lot. There's been a few things that have come up this past week and a few changes that are happening, so I'm going to go through those and try and explain the reasons why and where I'm at in terms of my prep for bodybuilding competition. So as always, I'm going to start with the weight. My weight now has stayed the same, so we're about 104 kilos, so that's what we expected. The food, we've changed again, so dropped another 60 grams from the carbohydrate source. What I'm going to do is throw up my macro split from MyFitnessPal so you can actually see what it is, and then I'm going to explain a little bit on certain foods and changes that have happened. So yeah, the 60 grams of the carbs that has gone out. Also increased a slight little bit on the cardio in terms of just still doing 40-45 minutes of low intensity steady state stuff, and sprint work is 15 minutes now, so same thing but just 15 minutes after all of the sessions apart from the leg sessions or the lower body sessions, which it doesn't take up too much time, so it's a great way of doing it. It's quite time efficient, and for that reason I don't really mind doing it. So what's new then? A little bit of confusion, I think, between myself and Gavin, who is helping me out with some of the coaching side of things, because it's a bodybuilding competition I'm looking at doing. I've only really been involved in the fitness type shows before, so this is all fairly new to me. I wanted to compete in the natural federations because I believe that's to be a little bit fairer than some of the ones that aren't tested, just for my own moral reasons, I think. So I had a competition in mind. We were going to be 2 weeks out. As I say, crosswise or communication. Short story is I'm not going to be competing in 2 weeks, just due to the fact that we haven't got enough time, and so I'm not classed as a beginner, believe it or not. Now, initially I thought that this was a little bit annoying and it sort of pissed me off a little bit, I suppose, and I instantly was like, I can't go past this date. I've got too much planned in for the rest of the year. We're moving house, I've got a few other things sorted out, there's a few events coming up, and I just didn't want anything to get in the way of the prep for this competition. I want to bring my absolute best to the stage, just for my own self. And so I was in a bit of a conundrum really. I didn't know whether to, I was scraping around trying to find a show to do on that set date, or trying to book a photo shoot or something, just so that the time in prep hasn't been wasted. So after a little bit of thought on it and sort of thinking things through rationally, come to the decision that I will compete, and it will be not in the federation that I was going to do. It's still a natural competition, the NPC, the National Physique Association. So I'm going to be competing at one of their shows on July the 10th. So it gives me 7 more weeks. 7 more weeks of prep, which is going to give me enough time to get as lean as I can, as lean as I've ever been. That's the plan anyway. So that's obviously happened. That's the date. That's what we've got to work to, and that's where I know I'm going. So the competition is being booked as we speak. It's in the diary. Everything's done. Tan's all booked. Just got to make my way down to Exeter for the comp. We'll sort that out. So yeah, we've got that in the diary. But in between now and then, I've got a few things that are coming up. So my plan is to try and just work around as best as possible, use sort of damage limitations, use things that I've used in the past, and it works. Last weekend was an example, birthday away in Brighton, and after a couple of days the water retention had gone and I'm back as lean or leaner than I was before I went. So it can be done. Life does go on and things come up, so we just work around it as best we can. It's just the reality of competition prep and life. And I've done it enough now over the last 4 or 5 years, and I've done the things where you're taking Tupperware to fucking barbecues, Tupperware to restaurants, and it's fucking not cool. It is not cool. So if any of you out there are thinking about doing a competition and you believe that that is the only way to do it, then, you know, good luck to you. There is more to life than that, and there are ways around it. So, you know, I'm putting together another video which will be up again after this to show macros and tracking and how we can fit things in to our everyday normal life. So yeah, taking your Tupperware box with you everywhere is not cool. No way. So yeah, that's where we're at. On the positive side, well, whether it is positive, I've got 7 more weeks, so I get to do a few more of these. Whether you guys are happy about that or not, or whether you even care, I don't know. But we got a few more of these to get in, so I'm excited for that because I quite enjoy doing this now. I see this one's going to be a little bit long with me just talking and rambling on, but I'm trying to wrap it up a little bit anyway. So all booked in with that. What I am going to put in here as well is some data that I've got from my Fitbit. So every week they send me through some of the data that's over the week. It's really useful. I've used it now for the best part of nearly 2 weeks, and the data that gets through is great to then get an average over of what you're doing on a weekly basis, be it your step count, calories burned, your sleep quality and things like that. So it's really good for me. I love stuff like that. I love having facts and figures, so you can try and get as much information as possible, and that way we can try and work to the best of our abilities to get to our goals and things like that. So I'm going to throw in that now, and then you guys can have a look at what they send through, and you'll see that the calories there, it gives you the calories burnt over the week. And then what I can do is sort of divide that up and I can get a rough estimate of how many calories I'm burning on a daily basis. And I think for me it's around about 4,200. I'm not sure, you'll see on there anyway. But it's a real good indication of how much, you know, expenditure I'm doing anyway, and that then I can factor into my calories and how we're doing things. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And this video has not obviously got any clips of me training in or any fancy things out, because it's just been a bit of a weird week in terms of sort of a spanner that got thrown in, but it's all sorted now. So we've got some more time to play with, so I'm going to get super lean. That's the plan anyway. And no coffee this week either. Diet Coke, not Diet Coke, Coke Zero. All those bad sweeteners in there, killing me. Yeah, right. So anyway, if you haven't already checked out, just before I go, there's a post on my Facebook page, danmacfitness, around banning foods. If you ever ban any foods from your diet, like I'm cutting out bread or I'm cutting out dairy or anything, just go and read it. Just get a different view on banning foods and why I just fucking hate it, to be honest. So yeah, go check that out. Anyway, I shall see you next week, and hopefully have a bit more exciting things to put in.